Looking at a quick inventory management, and we have purchase, sales, and product list. We'll be combining these two tables with the help of product list that will reflect quantity, price, sales, and available balance. We'll use PowerPivot to get all the calculation and data into one single source. So let's get started. Go to the PowerPivot, click on the manage. I have all three tables already loaded into the PowerPivot. So I'll quickly go to the diagram view and check my connection status. If you look at the connections are already made, so I don't have to work further on connections. Let's go back to our Excel sheet and start the calculations. First thing what I need to do is I need to create a pivot table. So we'll be working side by side. We'll be calculating measures using help from the Power Pivot, and we'll be doing the pivot table as well. To start with, I'll go back to my data model and then I'll go to the purchase. If you look, I have the unit price available and purchase price as well. My purchase price is value of per unit price multiplied by quantity. So that is giving me the total purchase price. If you want to drag it, drop it, you can move the columns from left to right. I have moved the price at the end. Let's go to the sales table. Let's add one more calculated column, same as we did in purchase. I'll start with typing equal and then sales price. I'll multiply by quantity. So as soon as I type the header name, it automatically shows the list of headers available. So I'll select quantity and I'll hit enter. Okay, so I have made an error. Let me fix that. Let's hit enter. Now this is our total sales price. It's another calculated column. I'll rename it to revenue. Now we have made the basic calculation in Power Pivot. Let's go back to our Excel sheet and then start creating pivot table. To insert a pivot table, you have to go to insert. From pivot table options, you have to select from data model. Since we are working using Power Pivot, so the data model is already in Power Pivot. I'll be using the data model. Click on new worksheet. You can see all the tables are right here. And if you look at the calendar, it's a data source and this is a connection. All other, these are the tables which are available in our Excel sheet. We'll be utilizing all these tables to create a pivot table. So let's get started. I'll start with my product list. If you look at the list is little longer than our purchase or sales. The reason behind it, this is a connection table. This has a unique mapping value, the list of all the products. However, as soon as I start pulling the data from our source data set, purchase or sales, this will automatically shrink and only return the values where we have sales numbers or purchase numbers. To see that, let's quickly pick the purchase price. Now, if you look at the purchase price, this has automatically reduced the number of stocks, items available, and their price next to it. Other products which had no values, they had been automatically filtered out. Now let's put the revenue in the same column. Now you can see the sales and revenue. So the total purchase price and this is our total sales so far. This data is coming from our sales table, which data set is created right here. And the purchase price is coming from our purchase table where we created one calculated column using Power Pivot. Now, two data sets are now available. Let's get started now. If I want to know how much stock I'm left with, in that case, what we have to do, we have to go to the Power Pivot and we'll be using measures. First, we need to create two measures for the quantity in purchase and sales. So I'll start with quantity purchase. You can pick the headers as you want, that will be completely up to your choice. And then we'll be using sumx function. The first says it's a table name. I'll start with my table, and the expression will be quantity. I'll use the purchase quantity and check for errors. Now, if we look at the error message, expression is not valid or appears to be incomplete because we only selected the column. However, we are supposed to select column along with the table name. So if I select the column along with the table name and click on check, now it's not giving me an error. It says no error in the formula. That means it has been calculated. Now I have created first quantity purchase. Now let's create another measure using sales table. Go to the sales table. We call it quantity sales. I'll be using the same functions, sumx. This time I'll be pulling the data from sales table, sales, and then we'll be using quantity which is available in our sales table. Close the parenthesis, check, and now there is no error. Now we have our quantity, purchase quantity and sales quantity. If you want to check available stock, what we have to do is a simple subtraction. For an example, let's call this as available stock. And now what we need to do is we cannot directly subtract quantity from our row label. So that therefore we have created two different measures, quantity purchase and quantity sales. Now what I'll be doing, I'll be subtracting quantity purchase and quantity sales. Check formula, no errors, click OK. Now you have all the information available, stock, quantity purchase and quantity sales. If you want to create multiple pivot tables, you can create based on that. For example, let's remove purchase price, revenue. Now we have quantity purchase, and if we go to the sales table, quantity sales, and our last option, available stock. Now any point of time, if someone is adding a new purchase, let's take an example. I added a new purchase for Captain Morgan, 30, 20, and the Captain Morgan price unit price is $20. Now this is available. I'll go back to my pivot table and I'll hit refresh. Now if you look at the quantity for the Captain Morgan has changed. That means each time you add or remove any table from here, I'll remove the Captain Morgan. So if I remove the Captain Morgan and I refresh, Captain Morgan is showing in sales table because we have 10 quantity which were sold. In purchase, it's not showing any value because we removed the numbers from purchase table. If I go back and bring back the Captain Morgan table and refresh it, now all the numbers are matching. So this is how you can simply create one formula. If you want to create something where you have to add one value, if the stock is available, if a stock is not available, you can use a simple if function how you use in Excel sheet, and it will give you the details that if you need to order this stock. If not, you can set a limit, such as if the stock is less than 10 or less than 15, then you can create based on that. Now if we talk about another formula quickly, we can create, let's say we want to calculate profit. So let's say profit. Now, if we talk about to create the profit, first we have to create another measure. First measure will be total purchase price, and then second will be total sales. For that, we have to click new. I'll start with purchase. I'll call it total purchase, and then I'll call it sum max. I'll be giving the table name as purchase, comma. Now, what is the expression? You want to total the purchase price. So in that case, we'll give the expression as purchase price. Now, if you look at, we already have one measure created that was a calculated column in our pivot table. So purchase underscore price. This is what we are calculating. So I'll close the parentheses, click head. There is no error. So I'm good with it. Now let's create total sales. I'll select sales table and then I'd call it sales total. I'll use a sumX function. I'll use the table name sales, and then what we need revenue. This is that what we created in a calculated column. We'll call it revenue, and as soon as it comes, sales and revenue. Check, there is no error. Now we can go ahead and create a formula to show our profit. Click new. I'll call this profit, and this time what we'll be doing will be subtracting total purchase versus total sales. So I have, if you're not able to recall what header name you took or the header description you added, you can easily go to the manage measures and it will show you the complete details. So my measure name is total purchase. So total underscore purchase subtracting sales underscore total. Check the formula. This is a very basic calculation. This doesn't exactly give you the accurate number as we have a stock available. That's why you will not see the accurate number, but this is a basic understanding how you can create a formula. So I'll say, let's take an example. Now my profit formula is here. Drag and drop it. Now you can see that what is the profit for each product. Let's rename the product list row label to products, and this is how easily you can calculate and see the current status. So this is a most easiest way to keep a track of your inventory, how much you purchase, how much is sold, and what is the available stock. For this video, this will be it. Next video, I'll be talking about creating a dynamic dashboard using the same data set and calculation, how you can represent your data into graphs and add slices along with the boxes with the real-time status while you're refreshing the data. So for now, this is it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.